Hi, everyone. I'm Virginia Duan, also known as Mandarin Mama. I am the entertainment editor for Mochi Magazine, which is the longest running online Asian American women's magazine. I'm also a freelance writer, as well as the host of the Nuna Army podcast, which is where we discuss the particular aspects and challenges of being a middle-aged BTS fan. It's currently on hiatus because I am 7+ months pregnant with my 5th child. I homeschool my kids. And I'm also a freelance writer, so I'm really tired. All right, so what I'm doing today is this is the final part of my RM Indigo reaction. Listening to the last 3 songs, not including Wildflower, because I've already reacted to that. And without further ado, this is Lonely by RM. I have a feeling it's going to hurt my feelings, and I hope it's better than the Justin Bieber one, even though I actually like the Justin Bieber one. Anyway, I'm sure it's better than the Justin Bieber one. All right, here we go. Oh, I like the guitar already. Oh.
I'm fucking lonely. 나 혼자 섬에. So fucking lonely. Somebody call me.
Listen, RM, give me your number.
잘나는 영화 속에서 담겨져 있어. 싫어 이 호텔 룸에 혼자 떠있어. 시끄러운 경적 소리 좁아진 방의 눕비만큼 나 내게 갇혔어. I tried a million times to let you go. So many memories are on the floor. And now I hate the cities I don't belong. Just wanna go back home. I'm fucking lonely. 나 혼자 섬에. So fucking lonely. Somebody call me. Gotta tell you something. 나 모든 게 싫어졌어. Yeah, guess I wasted time. Fuck the text and I hasten. 온종일 YouTube and Netflix. 그저 또 폰 속 데이터와 데이터. 매일 아침과의 rendezvous. 빨갛게 돌아가는 나의 몰라. I shot a million stars to let you know. So many trivial thoughts are on the floor. And now I hate the buildings I don't even know. Just wanna go back home. I'm fucking lonely. 나 혼자 섬에. So fucking lonely. Somebody call me. I'm fucking lonely. 나 혼자 섬에. So fucking lonely. Somebody love me.
Somebody that I used to know. It's the bass line. Or the walking guitar bass line, I guess. Huh. It's a mood, right? Like, especially if you're always traveling. I hate travel. But yeah, there's something about, he's talking about like the cities that he hates, or in the buildings that aren't right. And you know how like you always feel like whenever you come back home, you're like, these are the fucking buildings I know. You know, or like I just remember when I did a cross-country drive with one of my college friends from Brooklyn to Poway, San Diego, and we drove down the eastern coastline and then across the south, mostly on the 10. And I just remember like being flabbergasted that things could be so flat, like pretty much all of like Texas and like New Mexico. You're just like, there's just nothing here. Because California has tons of mountains. It's like, it's not green. yeah, the East Coast was super green. I was like, oh my God, it's so green. But yeah, they're just different. And it's not bad for a little bit. It's like interesting for a little while. But then at some point when you've been on the road for so long, you're just like, I just want to see the shit my brain is used to seeing, right? Like, so I get that. All right. Next is Hectic with Cold. I really like Cold, by the way. And I'm reading the translations from Genius English Translations.
Yesterday was a hectic. There was nothing romantic. If I can just find a reason to keep this endless chasing. Yesterday was a hectic. There was nothing romantic. If I could only imagine, just want another heaven. 또 어쩌면 나의 웃음, 내가 빠진 추억들, 할 말이 없는 사람들을 돌고 도는 liquid talks. 하루 더 죽어가는 느낌, 밤에 어울린 빅대로 영영한 불빛, 난폭한 택시, 이젠 지겨워져. Not people, people, people. Hate the reason. If born in this pain, how should we do this guy? Keep on thinking, and now yesterday was a hectic. There was nothing romantic. If I can just find a reason.
So what does he have against the Lincoln Boulevard?
Yesterday was a hectic. There was nothing romantic. If I could only imagine, just want another heaven.
Yeah. 어디로 가는지도 모르게 적어 내려갔던 시도 어느덧 걸어온 그 길이 되었네. 지난 기억 속에 더 이상 길을 잃고 싶지 않은 날 좀 구해줘. Make the people talking same shit. Hate the reason got the outspit. If burning is a pain, how should we do this game? Keep on thinking, and now
yesterday was a hectic. There was nothing romantic. If I can just find a reason to keep this endless chasing.
yes, that was hectic. There was nothing romantic. If I could only imagine, just want another heaven.
Yo, hangover's over. 관능적인 이 도시의 posture. 슬픈 밤 서울을 위한 녹턴. 우린 알면서 또 하루를 놓쳐.
에이, 행복이란 뭘까? 그토록 바래왔던 작은 평화. 마음이 빛바랜 자들을 떠나 마침내 우리가 수놓은 벽밤.
꿈을 꾸던 눈을 감아 지그시 숨을 참아 숨을 추는 사람들의 걸음은 곡선으로 oh, yeah.
흘러가는 걸 붙잡을 수는 없대도
We still love and hate this city, yeah.
This song reminds me of Soul so much. From Mono, doesn't it? I felt that. I mean, lyrically wise, I feel like it does that too. But like, just like but this time it's mostly hate, very little love. But yeah, it reminds me of Soul a lot. I don't even know why, because it's not exactly like the same. I don't know. It just reminds me of Soul a lot. Yeah, I like it. I think yeah, I like it. It's really, it's one of those songs where it's like, is it EDM? Is it EDM? I think it's EDM. but it's like it's a bouncy like up tempo, like it has that like there's a house because it has that like lift at the end. Anyway, I can never separate genres sometimes. But what was I thinking? It's always interesting to me when the lyrics are like so different from the actual sound of a song. So it's like Justin Bieber's Ghost, right? Like Ghost of You or whatever. I'm so sorry. I don't know why all the top of mind songs are like Justin Bieber. I don't even like Justin Bieber, but whatever. The songs everywhere. But it's like they're like sad or angry lyrics, or like just even like I would say these lyrics are more not sad, but like contemptful. Like I'm so over this, and everyone's fake, and everyone's just like it's very. I feel like he's really talking about LA and like the people they might have met in LA and all the like talk show hosts. And they're just like, Jesus Christ, can we talk about something different or ask a better question? Yeah, it's always interesting to me when there's a cognitive dissonance. There's the from what the lyrics are saying, but then what you're hearing. Like there's a huge disconnect, right? Like on the outside, so it sounds all happy and cheerful and like, hey, yeah, let's go dancing, let's go, like let's go. It's like you're bopping along, but the lyrics are like, yeah, everything sucks. It's so, it's everybody's lying. It's the same shit all the time, and you're like going along with things, So I find that very interesting. It's kind of the same like in Lie, right? Like where he's saying caught in a lie, and then not only are the lyrics saying a lie, but like it turns from minor to major, right? So it's lying also kind of in the music. So in that sense, it's different because, well, whatever. It's just highlighting that kind of like fake life, if that makes sense, or like just like you're putting on a face. It's highlighting the face or the mask. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. It is early. It's not actually that early. I just am tired. All right. Next one is, next in line would be Wildflower, but I've already reacted to that. So after that is, I'm assuming it's number 2, featuring Park Ji-yoon. 그대 여전은 뒤돌아보지만 그 많은 파도 다 지난 뒤에 무수한 만일이 널 괴롭혀도 이젠 네가 널 지켜줄 거야. 그대 여전은 뒤돌아보지만 선명히 뒤섞인 기억 뒤에 이 남은 삶들은 덤처럼 남아 최선을 넌 다했을 뿐이야. 그대여 더는 뒤돌아보지 마. Oh, my love don't look back anymore. 어느 길이 또 나 소용없을까. 그래 넌 그리 특별하지 않아. 이제 네 말에 옳지 않아. I smile that I ain't gotta prove myself, that I ain't the one, that I ain't the shit. 그저 희정이 고프던 어린 아이 이젠 너 위정이 더 잘 어울릴 말. 나로 가득 차 터져버린 나의 풍선. 터지고한 건 그 안은 텅 비어있었단 거. 끝없이 물었네 그냥 흘러도 되는 거야. 속하고 싶지 않던데 속해도 되는 거야. Oh. 영원할 것 같은 멜로디 그래 난 나의 felony. 여태껏 배운 건 겨우 한 가지 I'll be forever me. 필연이라 믿었던 그 모든 사고 영겁처럼 길었던 그 모든 밤도 최선을 넌 다했을 뿐이야. 그대여 더는 뒤돌아보지마. 그 많은 파도 다 지난 뒤에 Orpheus, right? My love don't look 무수한 만일이 널 괴롭혀도 이젠 네가 널 지켜줄 거야. 그대여 더는 뒤돌아보지마. 선명히 뒤섞인 기억 뒤에 이 남은 삶들은 덤처럼 남아 최선을 넌 다했을 뿐이야. So
back, no. No looking back, no. No looking back. Don't look back no more. No looking back, no. No looking back. 이제 네가 널 지켜줄 거야.
Is it no dot two, as in like no 2.0, like he's saying no? Or is he saying number two? I don't know, and I can't tell from the lyrics. It is Eurydice. Eurydice? Anyway. Yeah, it really reminds me of Orpheus, and then he keeps looking back, and then like, but I can't tell if the song is talking to who he used to be or someone who disappointed him as a child or whatever recently in the past, because and it's kind of cool like that, right? Like, because why couldn't it be both? But I feel like it reminds me of what they kind of say in therapy, or like so in parenting, especially if you had like an abusive childhood, or you were neglected, or like your parents were just shit, or one parent was, you don't have that, whatever. Anyway, but like how often they tell you, or I don't even know if it's they tell you, but anyway, I've read, I've heard, I've been advised all these things that like you have to parent your inner child, and I feel like I can't tell whether this song is talking about parenting his inner child. Like, hey, I'm not saying his parents were bad. I'm just saying, like, in terms of like advice in the industry or whatever, or who he thought he used to be, or whatever he's looking back on. I feel like it has to be another person, because he's pretty bitter about it in the first verse, right? Like saying, oh yeah, you told me not to, don't look back anymore. Don't look back. I'm on my own way. Like, yeah, that's really convenient. And you've done your best. But I feel like it still could stand for being himself. Anyway, my point being, like, it feels really a lot like an adult looking back on their childhood or their younger self saying like, hey, you're doing your best and you have to protect yourself now. Like the people, like it's giving agency back to you, right? Like you are the one. It's also kind of lonely, right? But in the truth is that, like, hopefully as a child, your parents and your family and teachers and people who are in positions of power over you could properly guide you or be kind to you or love you and teach you how to love yourself by loving you, right? But like it's hard. And so if you haven't experienced that, then you have to learn to love yourself in this manner. You have to learn how to parent yourself. You have to parent your inner child. And then also there's ways like you have to parent your children the way they need or the way that you may have lacked and you don't know how to because you've never seen it modeled. And then also sometimes you have to parent your parents. That's what happens in middle age. You're kind of sandwiched between the two. And to love your parents in ways that you did not receive from them. And it does not often go well, but it could. But my point is that once you move, like, it seems cruel to say, hey, you will protect yourself from now on. But the thing is, you can't, it's like a balance, right? Like you need other people, and also like you also have to be able to protect yourself. And then when you can't, hopefully you have people in your life to support you and help you. But in general, it is putting agency back into you, right? Like you have the power to protect yourself. You are the one protecting yourself. You are grown enough so that you can do it, right? When you have to do it too young, there's all these problems, right? But if you never learn how to, then you become codependent. I don't know why I'm going off on this, but I feel like that's yeah, it just really feels like that's what the song is about to me. I'm sure I'm going to like immediately after this read all these like think pieces on it, and I'll be like, oh, totally wrong. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. Do you think you agree with me? I'm totally off. You have a better theory, whatever. I'm interested. It's kind of fun. And it's not like too deep, right? If that makes sense. So yeah, in general, of the last three, Lonely, Hectic, and Wow, and number two, I think I like Hectic the most. Yeah. And on the actual album, again, it's still Wildflower or Yoon are my favorite, but I know that after I listen to it in whole and on repeat again, it'll like sink deeper into my bones. But these are just my first impressions. A lot of times my first impressions change. And sometimes they never change. Like I will never, ever like Permission to Dance. Never. Never. But you know, Dynamite eventually grew on me. I hate it, but I know all the words. Yay. So yeah, I feel like Indigo is much better than either of those songs. It's the whole album is very cohesive. I like the way it moves. I can see why he says to like listen to it from beginning to end, like the way it flows. How it starts from like mellow to getting slightly more like hype, and then it comes back down again, and then it's like jagged and pointy in the middle with like Closer and like Forgetful, and I know Closer is not that change, right? And then it kind of mellows back down. But it's very reflective. The lyrics especially are very cohesive, and I can see why he talks about it as like the archive of his 20s, even though he's like, I mean, he's doing Korean age. Like internationally, he still has like 2 years, right? Year and a half, 2 years-ish? Whatever. 2 years, because he's in August. No, not August, September. I'm in August. Keep that in mind, everyone. Pencil it in. Remember when my birthday is. Virgos unite. All right, so yeah. I still like Wildflower and Yoon the most. I can see why he went with Wildflower over Yoon. Yeah, it's a good album. I liked it. I imagine it will grow on me more. I think I actually like Mono the best out of all his albums. Is it Mono? No, I think I like RM the best. But I think that's because it's more bombastic, if that makes sense, or it's more like it feels scrappier. But this one's very reflective, a different type of reflection from Mono. And I think it just depends on my mood on what I would be willing to listen to. This is definitely, Indigo and Mono are definitely albums I can listen to in the background and just like chill and have it accompany my life, versus RM, his first mixtape. It's very like attention grabbing, and like I just have to like stop and listen, if that makes sense. So I think it just depends on what you need. And yeah. Anyhow, thanks so much for listening to me blather. Thank you for listening with me. And please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. And yeah, I hope you have a great